There are several root causes to the water crisis that is currently taking place in Afghanistan. The country of Afghanistan has gone through decades of unrest due to continuous civil war. The war, in turn, has taken a severe toll on the country's infrastructure. The infrastructural development has been said to remain the same as it was during the 1980s. However, there has been a huge burst in population since that time, and due to the burst in populations as well as the country's infrastructural lack of development, it has resulted in access to clean water for the communities in Afghanistan being unrealistic. The lack of clean drinking water affects the community in a very dangerous way. Roughly 25% of the children in Afghanistan die due to illnesses that they contract from drinking unclean water. The majority of the water usage in Afghanistan is attributed to agriculture. It is said that 85% of the water in the country is used solely for this purpose and industry. The intense usage of water for this source has created drought-like conditions that then cause an imbalance in hydraulic processes. Because of the inability for Afghanistan's infrastructure to supply clean water, it has led many people with no choice but to migrate themselves, as well as their families, to different countries in order to find clean water to survive. Global warming is a key player in the root issues that are contributing to the water crisis. The Indus Basin is shared by Afghanistan as well as other countries such as China as well as India. The basin remains supplied by over 18,000 glaciers. Due to the pressing climate change, the glaciers have been receding quickly and dangerously. This will continue to affect the rivers that supply Afghanistan as less clean glacier water becomes available to the communities that receive water through the rivers that flow through Afghanistan. A place much closer to home is the Flint water crisis currently taking place in Michigan. Although the Flint water crisis is on a much smaller scale, it is still a valid problem, and it is an actual crisis that has affected so many people. This was even declared a federal state of emergency by President Obama. Originally, water was supplied from Detroit to Flint, Michigan. In 2014, the city of Flint decided that they would change their water source to the Flint River. Flint River was the original source of water supply from the city of Flint prior to supplying water from Detroit. One major issue was the city of Flint, even after months of the city's people complaining, denied that there was an actual issue. After the water being pumped into citizens' homes began to turn dark brown colors, as well as affect the health of the community, it was discovered that the city did zero treatments to the Flint River water to ensure that the water would not cause corrosion to the pipes that the water supply flows through. Because of the lack of treatment and preparation over the years, the pipes became completely corroded. Corrosion in pipes created lead poisoning that flowed into the community's water supply. The high levels of lead in the community's blood levels was very dangerous. It's especially dangerous in children as well as pregnant women. In this slide, I included a photo of a child who was being tested for lead poisoning in his blood. And next to it, there is a picture of two nails. One is a nail after 1 month of exposure to Detroit water, which is the top nail, and then the nail on the bottom was exposed for 1 month to water in the Flint River. And you can see that the nail becomes corroded, and metal corrosion leads to lead. And if it's put into the water supply, it'll lead to lead poisoning. A solution to this particular type of water pollution would be to install water testing measures in communities to ensure that the water supplies will not corrode metal pipelines and create illnesses in the communities, such as in the Flint crisis, where the water was not tested prior to the change in water source and it poisoned an entire community. Also, ordinances should be installed in order to ensure that the infrastructure of all communities is up to a certain code and is able to supply water properly.